there's a caboose and an explosives car. But as we pan around the grounds, you're going to end up seeing a few of the artifacts that they've accumulated. The building that I originally thought here as the station is actually the station master agents, and the original station is just to the left of it in front of where that shed is. That's where the original station was. So now we are inside the station master's residence, and as we look around, we see certainly a number of artifacts and photographs. They've got a huge collection. And this is actually one of the bedrooms, probably one of the kids' bedrooms, but they've got it set up like an office with some of the old, like the desk and stuff. And again, just loads of pictures from the time period when the plantations were in operation. Here's the washroom that's attached. You can still see the old fixtures. And then as we move through the doorway, we're into the front entrance and looking at the dining room. This is the front door. And again, as I said, they've managed to collect a number of artifacts. You can see a train bell and whistle there. And we're just going to pan around here, and here we are that's my sister-in-law. This is another bedroom, which they actually use as their store, and they sell t-shirts and, touristy things from their little store there. Now we're going into the kitchen area, and this is my brother and Doug. They're looking at some artifacts on the shelves and having a bit of a discussion. But again, this is the kitchen area for the family that lived in the building, in the residence. And again, loads and loads of photographs. They've really done a very good job of setting up the rooms so that you can kind of get an idea of what it was, like living as a station master family and on the railway. We're now moving into the dining room area, which is nicely set up as well. Old piano. And from what Doug was telling us, I mean, they've had all sorts of donations from people, some not necessarily directly related to the area, and I'll mention that more when we get outside too, because there's a couple of things outside that I thought were part of the original operation of the station. Anyways, they have organized a lot of their photographs into different categories. Like up here on the wall, there's working on the railway segment. There's one of their rotary stands has got like bridges that were on the railway. We're now moving into what would have been the master bedroom, and some of the clothes, vintage clothes in the closet there. And again, loads and loads of photographs of that time period when plantations were in full operation. This one, like I mentioned, is bridges. But they've done a really bang-up job. We did have some difficulty getting connected. It took us 3 tries to get into the museum. They were having some problems with their webmaster is in hospital, so their website was giving wrong information as to what the museum times were. And so we finally connected on the Friday before we were leaving Hawaii to get the interior of the residence. And again, like I said, oodles of different, if you're ever on the big island of Hawaii, check it out. We were at a resort near Kona. This is more towards Lapahoehoe side of the island, the east side, kind of the northeast side of the island. But again, there's layout inside the house. It's they've done a really good job in artifacts and descriptions. It doesn't show the detail in the video, but they've got all the pictures are labeled with what's in it and how it related to the railway. Basically gives you an idea of back in that time period what it was like as a train master and the family living along the railway. So and now we're out on the grounds, and there's this donkey engine and caboose. I thought the caboose was part of this particular railway, but apparently it was donated from the mainland, and they put it out there. You can also see the trackage there. It's both standard gauge and narrow gauge. This is the back yard, and this rail line goes down into the foliage there and actually forms a Y that comes out to the left side. We'll pan over there in a little while. But the museum is, as you can see, has got both the narrow gauge and the standard gauge, even though this area was just standard gauge. And of course, when we first saw this explosives car, we thought it was part of the operation. That was a donation from the U.S. military. And like I said, Doug had mentioned that, you say you've got a museum and people say, well, I've got this, would you like it in the museum? And things like, this is an old road grader, and even like model trains and stuff. This is where the Y would have come out to the left here. And like Doug was saying, their big problem is having enough volunteers to clear the foliage, because it grows so fast on the island that it's hard to keep the tracks clear, because they actually had that donkey engine running, and they would run up and down the lines. These are some of the artifacts that are around outside and inside. And this is an old sugarcane warehouse that is now used by, I believe, the Highways Department. That's the original station, and that's a painting of the original station. So I hope that you enjoyed the tour. It was fun putting it together. We got a lot of information, and like I say, there is just oodles of photographs in there that you can look at. I forget how long we spent there, but it was fun. It was nice to see.